Hey guys, before I jump in, I want to explain exactly what this video is, if you didn't tell from the title, so you can choose not to watch it if it doesn't suit your particular tastes. This video will consist of me capitalizing on just how insanely delusional the Reddit user known as SniperPanda is. Also, as a secondary forward, I acknowledge that the credit for the entertainment value of this video goes in its entirety to SniperPanda. SniperPanda, you make me smile no matter the circumstance. You know exactly what to say to chase my sadness away. Please never stop posting. You make my life worth living.
You complete me.
Okay, enough of the intro. For those of you who don't know who this evil crustacean, this coy diva is that I've referenced, he's a Reddit user commonly referred to by his main account, SniperPanda9. I think that's what it was anyway. Over the course of a really long time, he has made numerous more accounts with the intent of spreading cheer and merriment throughout r MBTI and other subreddits. All you really need to know is this. At the current moment, his Reddit username is American Sniper Panda, which I'm sure he thinks is the cleverest shit since he came to the epiphany that the new accounts he created weren't banned from r MBTI like his old one was, and is a mod over at the well-respected and intellectually esteemed r-censor. I'll actually go one step farther and claim that r-censor could not have reached its current level of acclaim without SniperPanda's presence. Calm down, I know r-MBTI isn't much better. Okay, I'm talking too much. So, over in r-censor, he authored a post titled Top 10 Reasons Censors Are Better Than Intuitives. I'm really struggling over whether or not I should explain exactly what's wrong with this title or just move on and not insult your intelligence. I'm actually going to record it and speed it up so it doesn't take much time. I hope the YouTube player has the 0.25x speed option if you want to listen to it all. That'd be pretty dope if it does. If not, sorry, you'll have to try to discern some nonsense.
R-censor was made, to my understanding, with the explicit intention to be a place where censors could chill and avoid the intuitive bias that had permeated r-MBTI. So it seems very counterproductive, counterintuitive, and hypocritical to then go to r-censor and flood it with censor bias.
Okay, we're back. Inside the post, which he had titled Top 10 Reasons Censors Are Better Than Intuitives, he had channeled the greatest philosophers and rhetoricians to come up with 10 reasons, he can count, I'll give him that illustrated the case for censor superiority. I'm going to read them to you. They're just too funny not to. Also, to all of y'all, like, don't feed the troll, you'll only make him stronger. You spend all this time on this video, that's just what he wants. Trust me, the time I spent on this video is minuscule, it pretty much wrote itself. It seriously was easy. Very easy. Also, to those of you who think nobody's taking him seriously, we all agree that it's stupid. Like, I know you're the majority, but I've actually seen some people agree with this, and at least think the analysis that he's made has some merit. It's to those people that I address the serious nature of this video, and to everybody else that I direct the humorous nature of this video. Let the reading commence. Number 1. Censors are more practical. Intuitives will obsess about useless theory and abstractions for no reason. What an astute observation that censors are more practical. On a whole, I mean, it's a fair point for establishing equality, but not really for establishing superiority. I can write, intuitives are more conceptual, censors will obsess and get hung up over insignificant details for no reason. In addition, although it's possible for intuitives to obsess about useless theory and abstractions for no reason, saying it's possible is different than saying it's probable or deterministic. Jews will commit questionable business practices, therefore all Jews are inferior to non-Jews? Number 2. Censors are more Darwin than intuitives. Censors outnumber intuitives by a large margin because they were better at surviving in the past. Intuitives are clumsy and uncoordinated due to a lack of connection with the real world in their bodies. So I'm gonna ignore the use of Darwin here and just assume that you mean better fit for survival. And I'm gonna reread this sentence. Censors outnumber intuitives by a large margin because they were better at surviving in the past. I think this is a fair point, but when one is climbing the social ladder and carefully navigating abstract interpersonal relationships and making calculated decisions about the cutthroat nature of success in today's society, the last thing that she's worried about are tigers, lions, or rival tribes preparing to ambush her from the cover of her neighbor's shrubbery. Being well-versed in throwing spears or surviving in the wild were inarguably very beneficial traits at one point in our species' past. So much so, he points out, that there are more censors than intuitives. I personally don't find this cause and effect to be that hard to believe. But I hope I'm clear when I say that when it's possible for a person to get into his or her car, drive to a store, and with the push of a few buttons and the swipe of a card, pick up enough calories to make a human from a few thousand years ago immediately die of congested arteries, those skills are wholly and completely unnecessary to success. Unless your dreams are to go into professional sports, the advantage of being a bit more coordinated or having a slightly faster reaction time is very negligible. Fat Joe, who sits at his desk and makes $150,000 a year as a tax attorney, is better suited to survive in today's society than Jimmy, who is very coordinated but makes $40,000 a year as a physical therapist for his high school sports program. Number 3. Sensors have better memory than intuitives. Intuitives are well known for having terrible memories because they are not in touch with the real world. Lots of intuitives are not even sure if life is real or a dream because their memory is so bad. This is one of the strongest points here, which is kind of sad, but I mean it's something, I guess. My only issue would be with the unclear equivocation of more detailed with better. Again, a good case could be made that more detailed memories are better. The only merits here come from the opaque truth value. But on the other hand, I hope I'm not misrepresenting intuitives by stating that they don't go through life in a constant fugue, unsure of the barrier between the dream world and real life. Like, nobody forgets they're in real life. I'm pretty sure no one does that. Number 4. Sensors are more realistic than intuitives. Intuitives get caught up in fantasy worlds, conspiracies, and self-delusions. They never know what's real. This point feels so familiar. I just can't place it. If you want to hear me repeat what I said before, just rewind a bit. Number 5. Sensors are more attractive to the opposite sex. There is nothing attractive about having weird eccentric interests. Most intuitives are autistic neckbeards. So, 2 things here. Firstly, if we are to grant you that sensors are more attractive to the opposite sex, then that shouldn't come as a surprise, because as you said in Reason 2, there are just quantitatively more female sensors for there to be attracted to male sensors than their intuitive counterparts. Statistically speaking, you're right. Sensors are more attractive to the opposite sex than intuitives are, but that's because the opposite sex consists of more sensors than intuitives. Secondly, having eccentric interests does not apply to all intuitives, and having eccentric interests are attractive, mainly to intuitives. Most intuitives are autistic neckbeards? Be careful there, Sniper Panda, you may have to reclassify yourself as INTP if you keep this up. Number 6. Sensors are tougher than intuitives. Most intuitives end up being bullied in school. Intuitives are bad at sports or anything requiring body coordination, since they are bad at operating in the moment. There is nothing intimidating about intuitives. I'm seriously amazed at how he read this and thought this was logically sound. Most intuitives end up being bullied in school. I'm just amazed that somebody thought that that was a reason sensors were better. I think this is just so obviously wrong that I'm not sure where to go with this. Is this blaming the victims of bullying for being weak? Is this praising the bullies for being tough? I have no idea. It's just so incredibly stupid. To the whole sports thing, yeah, on a general note, sensors are better at sports, or anything requiring body coordination. I'll give you that. There's nothing intimidating about intuitives? Well, if we're speaking about generalities, which you have been this entire post, maybe physically there aren't, but surely ENTJs are intimidating in their ability to command a room, or INTJs in their plans for world domination. The diabolical villain archetype is INTJ. Are villains not intimidating? Has Hollywood gotten it wrong all these years? Number 7. Sensors are smarter. Intuitives like to think they are smarter because they got screwed over on the other stuff. But nope, sensors have both. Sensors won't waste their time on useless theory that amounts to nothing. Sensors will actually apply the theory they think about and produce something of value that's realistic, which makes for better innovation. Intuitives rely on their intuition to blindly process information unchecked and spit out answers of questionable reliability, which is fine if you are taking a test, but bad for everything else. Okay, so this one. Really, Sniper Panda? Really? Like you had your pick of reasons to put down for sensor superiority, and you chose to bring in intelligence? Sensors get enough flack for being less smart, battle IQ statistics day in and day out, and you just saw that and went, nah bro, dude, I got this. Check this out. You blew right past the, well, maybe intuitives aren't smarter, maybe we're just smart in different ways, and steamrolled right into sensors have literally everything. I read this and I thought that there was no way someone could be serious about this. Useless theory that amounts to nothing? What? Is that what science is? Because intuitives have been scientists. Deductively, the intuitives that were scientists were engaging in useless theory that amounts to nothing. Tesla, Isaac Newton, they're INTJ. Einstein, Darwin, and Curie, INTP. Evolution was a pretty useless theory now that I think about it. Fucking Wozniak and Russell were ENTP. There's a 100% chance the computer you're using would not exist as it is today without useless theory that amounts to nothing. This is one of the most insanely laughable things I've ever read. Later on you say the SPs are called creators for a reason. ENTPs are called inventors. I'm assuming for no reason. INTJs are called masterminds for no reason. Names mean fucking nothing. Okay, number 8. Sensors enjoy life more fully than intuitives. Intuitives don't even live in real life.
Right here what we got is a portal. Basically, go through this portal allows you to experience real reality. These are trip crystals. Just take a look at these things right as you're peaking, and your high will magnify at least 3 times, guaranteed. And I think allow you to see past your brain into further knowledge, of course, new levels. It's portal time, dude. Let's do this. I'm basically, right now what I'm doing is I'm checking my energy levels. I'm at about a 5, so I should be fine.
Dennis, what's going on there?
Obviously, space and time have collided.
Are you familiar with Millian utilitarianism? Something tells me you're not. Millian utilitarianism, among other things, is concerned with the differentiation of pleasures by quality and quantity. To tell which pleasures are qualitatively superior, it offers a rather straightforward and logically sound method. To do this, one must be a competent judge. And before you ask, a competent judge is someone who is equally familiar with and capable of appreciating each pleasure. Only when these qualifications are satisfied can one pass qualitative judgment on pleasures. You, and for that matter anybody, are not equally familiar with the pleasures of being both a sensor and an intuitive. You are not able to pass judgment on pleasures and lives you haven't experienced. Number 9. Society values sensor traits more than they do intuitive traits. Nobody wants to be a weakling that likes to talk about weird things. Most celebrities are sensors. I've addressed the weakling/eccentric interest thing earlier, and for the rest I'm just going to be repurposing the opposite sex argument. Firstly, you can't just make up facts and argue your way from them. Where's your evidence for society valuing sensor traits more than intuitive traits? You actually did worse than proof surrogate. You didn't even say proof was available. Even if you are granted the fact that society values sensor traits more than intuitive traits, which I don't really want to do without investigation, there's still the fact that society consists of more sensors. And as the society determines what traits society values, society would tend towards valuing sensor traits more, just out of pure numbers. Secondly, I guess it's also a testament to your shining self-confidence that all intuitives are labeled weaklings who like to talk about weird things. I shouldn't even have to address that, and I'm not going to. Number 10. Sensors are better at being creative than intuitives. Most of the best pop singers, artists, writers, and movie directors are sensors. SPs are called creators for a reason. You do know that pop singers, artists, writers, and movie directors don't exhaust every category of creator. And you also know, I'm sure, that you're equivocating the quality of being creative with being a creator or singer, artist, writer, or movie director. Those are not mutually inclusive terms. You also realize that you can't say that sensors are better at being creative than intuitives because most singers, artists, writers, and movie directors are sensors, and then say that intuitives dabble in useless theory, even though most scientists are intuitives. I also suppose that this means that the NTs are called rationalists for a reason, that being that they're better at being rational. In the interest of keeping this video short, I'll say a couple closing things. Sniper Panda, your writing reads like a half-baked essay written by a mentally handicapped 4th grader. I know they tell you that if you try really hard that you can be whatever you want to be in life, but please, when it comes to writing, please just consider quitting. You are the level of stupid where you actually think you're smart. You are a disgrace to MBTI, sensors, ISTPs, and introverted thinking.